So recently I flew all the way to Texas, where I got invited to try a VR treadmill that was actually used as a concept for the movie Ready Player One, a cult classic within the XR space that is seen as an inspiration for where we are heading in the future. The treadmill I got to check out is called the Omni One, an upcoming consumer product that is being built by Virtuix, one of the first companies that were able to turn this from a science fiction prop into a real product. On top of that, they are using AI in their software that can predict your movements during your playthroughs, which definitely had me all ears. As you may know, I've tried many treadmills in the past and have remained skeptical of how much they really level up your immersion and if they are worth using on a daily basis. If you aren't planning on working out in VR or simply have a different and probably cheaper fitness routine, then this may not be the product for you. I would say that the Omni One is more for the early adopter, the VR enthusiast, an active user who wants to get a taster of what could be the future moving forward. Where before Virtuix was mostly focused on arcades with these gigantic arenas packed with their so-called Omni Pro treadmills, they are now trying to gain a foothold in the consumer market with the Omni One. Knowing my stance on VR treadmills, CEO Jan and the entire Virtuix team still decided to invite me for an office tour. They not only showed me how they make the magic happen behind the scenes, but I even got to join their operations to get an understanding of what it takes to ship a treadmill. Of course, I also got to experience their vision on this Ready Player One-esque dream, and I will soon share my spicy takes on what I think of their treadmill. But first, let's dive into the basics, shall we? As someone with two left hands, I can confirm that setup-wise, this is the most easy treadmill I've put together in a while. Thanks to being pre-built, it exists out of just a few parts that simply slide into each other without the need of any screws or tools. It took me about 5 minutes to get it battle ready, and the material itself is mostly plastic, but does feel premium and sturdy. It comes with a small frunk for these low-friction soles, better known as overshoes, which you have to wear during your play sessions. They come in different sizes and feature trackers that connect over Bluetooth. I was told that they last for about 20 hours and can be fully charged in less than 2. The main problem with treadmills though is that they are heavy, very heavy, and take up a lot of space. The Omni One isn't any different, but what's nice is that it has wheels underneath the base that allow you to lift it up and roll it away. Surprisingly, Virtuix has bundled the treadmill with a Pico Neo, meaning that you don't necessarily need a computer to play games. The content offering is completely standalone and runs on their own platform within the headset. This way, they made sure they can sell a complete system with the experience being seamless, avoiding compatibility issues and other challenges that are being introduced with a product that's not being standardly supported across all platforms. This is also partly the reason why Virtuix makes their own games and hands over Omni's SDK to any developer who's interested in supporting it. Now, these titles may not be as pretty or engaging as hooking up, let's say, Half-Life Alyx to a treadmill, but from the perspective of the Omni itself and how it reacts to these games, Virtuix, their own experiences, are far more optimized, accurate, and responsive as they were simply developed with a treadmill in mind. It's a huge difference and changes your view on what these things are actually capable of. According to Jan, when Omni officially launches, the plan is to have it come with 30 games, from shooters to more fitness-focused titles. That said, and I don't blame you, if you do want to play Half-Life Alyx and all the other amazing content Steam has to offer, then you can. The Omni One comes with PC software that works with Quest, Bigscreen Beyond, Valve Index, and all the other PCVR headsets. This does mean you have to tweak the controls yourself, and will find that some genres just don't lend themselves to be a great treadmill experience. I did ask if I could try this feature, but I was told they weren't ready yet to show me any PCVR stuff. All I got to play were their in-house standalone games that, by the way, were surprisingly good and entertaining, but knowing Virtuix's background, were also arcadey in style. I do wish it worked with PlayStation VR 2 and standalone Quest content as well, but they told me that Meta's closed ecosystem and constant unstable updates would break support for Omni quite easily, issues that Pico apparently doesn't have. In regards of PSVR 2, the answer is simple. Third-party devices are not allowed on the platform, so it's going to be hard to make it work on a console. Although Meta's dominance in the XR space can't be ignored. Quest is still getting most of the banger titles, and I do wonder if there will be enough quality content left to play on the Omni. Let's say this Treadmill can garner an impressive amount of users and the VR gaming market becoming more, well, mainstream, I can see how AAA studios would be willing to work together on bringing support to these treadmills. But that's something we'll have to wait and see. In total, I played 3 experiences that I spent about 2 hours in. A zombie game, an online shooter that I got to play with the CEO, and the highlight being a walk through Paris, which was somewhat of a casual fitness title. After everything was fully charged, I put on the overshoes, stepped onto the base, and strapped myself into a harness that fits like a backpack. It uses cushions that covers your shoulders and lower back, not only to bring comfort, but also to keep you in place. It's good to know that it can be adjusted in height, supporting someone that is up to 6.4 inches, and the arm has a knob that lets you tweak the resistance, being able to hold a maximum of 250 pounds. It has holsters on the sides for the controllers, and a button that locks or unlocks the treadmill itself. As I've never been a huge fan of wearing these special but stiff shoes, it's a big win to be now getting to wear your own pair. Only downside is that they are very loud, so if you have angry neighbors next door, you may want to think twice. I expected a steep learning curve, but was pleasantly surprised that after just 20 minutes or so, I started to get the hang of it. I think what plays a major role here is the arm in combination with the right amount of resistance. Reaching to almost the middle of the base, it gives you the opportunity to move in a more upright position while walking. Other treadmills I tried in the past had you lean too much forward while doing that, resulting into a bent posture and giving the feeling you are just dragging a heavy treadmill along with you. Still, the Omni One isn't perfect when you start running, but at least it shows improvements. The arm behind you lets you have enough freedom and flexibility to quickly switch from a crouched or standing position, and walking backwards to turning around is no problem. As far as I could tell, even when I was using it, the build quality felt solid and didn't shake around when I went real hard on it. I'm only missing a seat, which would allow you to rest or switch to driving a car or riding a horse. Another reason why I think I was quite impressed is that the games I got to play were built from the ground up for Omni One, and the AI software really doing a tremendous job at calculating my movements. I did not notice any serious delays, and the pacing was fairly accurate. Although, when you start to slow walk, you do see that there is a cap on where it thinks you are actually moving. Don't get me wrong, this smart-sounding software doesn't take away the fact that it's not exactly simulating walking, running, or crouching in real life. No, you still have to adapt to how the treadmill wants you to physically move. It's work in progress, but I do believe Virtuix is on track to turn the Omni One into the best consumer treadmill the XR space has seen so far, being the most promising and seemingly effective locomotion option to date. So there you go, that's what you can expect from the Omni One from my perspective. It will be a while before it officially launches, by the way, but this was for sure an interesting first look. You will be able to buy one for $2,600 in US dollars and ships in Q2 2024. If you are interested in pre-ordering the Omni One, then you can by signing up on their website to get notified when pre-orders go live. I will make sure there is a link in the description below. I agree, it is a lot of money, but as I said, it's for the consumer who wants to adopt something that could be the future. Time will tell. Let's say if it is, then these people are ahead of the curve and will cause the prices to go down in the long run, making VR treadmills more affordable and maybe even mainstream for a wider audience. So let me know in the comments what you think of the Omni One. I'm very curious to hear what your stances are on treadmills like this. And yeah, until next time, bye bye for now and stay tuned for more awesome VR content. Bye!